I am alive. I want that to be clarified. I just got in a rut, to be honest. I didn't do anything. I had time. It's not like I didn't have free time. I just didn't do anything. But I did get some stuff. And I watched some stuff. So, let's talk about a show I actually got and I watched and I completed the other week. And that was Super Sentai Dairanger, which is, pretty fucking awesome. But, I should clarify, this is the, I had it actually open here, the 17th, series, but it was technically, I think they took footage of this and made some things in Season 2 of Power Rangers. I think the only thing they took was the White Ranger is actually from this. They didn't base a show off of this show. They based a show, and I don't think I've talked about this yet, on Zoo Ranger? Jew Ranger? I've heard it's Jew Ranger. So I should say that. If it's not, that might sound really, really bad. I think it's Jew Ranger. And this is actually what Power Rangers is based off of. It's fan-frickin-tastic. It's really hard. I like this one more because you're like, oh, it's the Power Rangers! This one you're like, I like tokusatsu stuff and there's fighting and it looks like Power Rangers and there's that one Power Ranger. But not how I thought. It's still really cool. And that's what we're going to talk about this one. This, maybe another day. Super Sentai Dairanger, I do believe is what it's called, is the, as I said, the 17th series in the Super Sentai, and is the second series that has been released here in Canada and America and TSC 1 or whatever it's called. So yeah, it has your 5 Rangers. In this case, I actually have their names written down here somewhere. You have the main Red, who is Rio, who is the, let's see, do they actually have their names? It's just their first name, then Ranger. So it's not some fancy like a Raptor Ranger or something like that. So you have Rio, Daigo, the green one. The blue one is Shoji. The yellow one is Kaizu. The pink one is Rin. And the white one, who is a special one, is a little child. I think I'm not sure if you can see that on the cover there. He's a little child named Kyo, I think. That's the only one that I don't know how to pronounce. But he's a special ranger, just like the Green Ranger in the original Jew Ranger. He's like a special who kind of appears halfway through the series, and they try to do stuff with them, and you're like, I don't care, he's kind of cool, but I don't care, just go back to the story. But this, if you don't know, Super Sentai Jew Ranger, which is the first Power Rangers, is based off of dinosaurs. There's always a theme to these shows, and this show's theme is like Chinese kind of culture type thing. So each one of their fighting styles, each one has a different one, is based off of a fighting style in China. So I can't really explain them very well because I don't know different really styles. You got your Kung Fu, that's Chinese, but I can't really explain. But the one famous one I can explain, you might get under what I'm trying to say, is that I do believe, I'm trying to see him on here, the Yellow Ranger named Kaizu has drunk boxing. Now there's a famous film by Jackie Chan called The Legend of the Drunken Kung Fu Master. I do believe it's amazing, but it's this whole thing where they call it drunk boxing, but it's basically you're getting your weight into the moves, so you kind of do like whipping around as if you're drunk, and that's his style. So it's kind of cool to see all these different styles from old Kung Fu movies in a Super Sentai. And if you don't know, Super Sentai, fight bad guy. Bad guy usually has an army of little minions, and then you have higher up minions who usually by the end of the episode will turn into a giant creature that they have to fight in their mech suit type deal. And if you like, see, I'm a really big fan of things like, there's a show called Fight Dragon, which I talked about at one point, where it's just like karate, kung fu, fighting fun. It's turn your brain off, have fun. And I really like cheesy monster movies. Like Godzilla, not the good Godzillas, but the bad Godzillas from like 70s and 80s where they were really bad looking. Now imagine those in one show in roughly 17 minutes, because the show's only 19 minutes, take away opening and ending, so it's like 16 minutes per episode, and there's 50 of them. It's awesome. Now, I'm really basically like trying to explain Super Sentai, but hopefully you guys know or understand what Power Rangers or Super Sentai already is. But this is more the case of, look, this is a thing that you can buy. Go buy it! And also buy Super Sentai Dairanger, hopefully that's what it's called. But by the end of this, they have a master, and some issues happen with the master, and they basically have to save the day. And the ending to this one is so... How do I explain this? I don't want to spoil it, but it's so like a very traditional Chinese thing that when you see it and when you understand what they're trying to say, you're like, oh, okay. And then there's actually, and I'm trying not to spoil anything, there's a time skip at the last episode that shows that, and you're sitting there like, it ended. That last scene is, there's no more. And you're kind of disappointed. But the show itself is fantastic. If you haven't already seen Super Sentai Dairanger, get that too. These are both done by Shout Factory. You can get them for around $40. They go up and down all the time, so it's worth getting them. Plus, if you buy these, they'll make more. And I want more. So, yeah. Now, the interesting thing about this is there was actually a movie connected to this show that they didn't license. And at the end of the episode of this series, they go, next time on Super Sentai, or whatever, and they advertise this. At the end of this, they advertise nothing. So, a little worried that they're not going to make more. But if they do, I'll talk about it, because it's awesome. Dudes fighting dudes, and then fighting in mechs. They're not mechs, really, but I call them that. It's fun. It's just fun. That's all I can really say. It's fun. And I'm alive. So, you can call this an update. Probably look really pale with this white light. Let's blame the white light, shall we? That's probably what I'm going to do. Sure. I'm procrastinating. Let's just turn this off.